Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Mario here, and I'm Luigi here. We are from the likes of the Mexi Toys videos, as always. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll present to you our Let's Play this is actually, technically speaking, our redo Let's Play of a game that we did technically already done back in 2017, but of course that we have to redo it anyway, just because, well, we'll explain more details after this opening cutscene.
Yes.
That's right, we're about to be playing some baseball in Mario Super Sluggers. Originally came out on 2008, which I can't even believe it's been about almost roughly 15 years ago since in 2008, and this came out on the Nintendo Wii, of course. Now, keep this in mind though, Mario, is about the fact that this game only saw the light of day in not only in Japan, but also in North America. But as it turns out, the European version, alongside with the Australian version of the game, didn't see the light of day, probably because of the poor sales, for the sake of the UK version of Mario Superstar Baseball originally came out for the Nintendo GameCube. So because of that though, gee, no wonder why that most of those GameCube stuff is actually going to get a lot more expensive at this point. So as you can tell about the fact that we obviously going to be playing this on the American Wii, so don't worry, there's no mods or anything else like that. Although we've able to do a lot of modding, but it might be felt a bit complicated from our perspective. So because of this though, yeah, let's get this thing to it with Mario Super Sluggers for the Nintendo Wii. Now I'm actually really looking forward to doing a redo Let's Play for this game, especially because, well, as far as what I said this before, we originally did this game back in 2017, despite the fact that the original playthrough of the game is no longer there, mainly because, well, first of all, I feel like the quality is fine, but the commentary-wise, it just feels pretty bad, especially noticeable in the beginning portion anyway. So because of this though, yeah, here we are now in 2023, which as a result, that's what Mario has already stated that earlier, this game is now 15 years old, specifically in the Japanese release or something like with regards to that. So, it's a shame about the fact that we didn't get a Mario Baseball on the Switch just yet though, but hopefully we'll be able to find out some more details about that during later time. So either way though, and as you can see about the fact that on the actual the environment we actually ended up into, it did somehow looks like we're going on to the baseball kingdom as far as what the actual island is going to represent it with. So either way though, so yeah, as you can see, we ended up on this menu selection screen right here, which as you can see, we have ourselves 6 modes to interact. There's the forms of exhibition, challenge mode, which is the actual main focus of this playthrough, and as well as that, there's also mini games, toy field, practice if you want to practice the entire game, as well as records, and that's about it basically. So either way though, and if you couldn't tell already, when it comes to the actual control scheme in terms of the forms of Mario Super Sluggers, I think we're most able to be best able to use the Wii Remote and Nunchuck combo, because there is also some other control methods here and there as well, but we'll discuss on details on that in a moment there, Luigi, because otherwise we'll dive straight right into challenge mode and just to see what happens there. So basically we need to gather up teammates and to challenge Bowser. So because of that though, I'm pretty sure the plot remains kind of similar to the forms of how it does it in Mario Superstar Baseball back on the GameCube, although the noticeable differences this time is that it obviously takes place in a new environment, which, as I said before, is Baseball Kingdom, according to what Lakitu is trying to able to say us something. So because of this though, yeah, I was right, Baseball Kingdom. So because of this though, I will admit though right away though, it looks pretty impressive of how this island's gonna be designed for. I'm guessing it's probably because I think thanks to Princess Peach managed able to invest the idea, we're able to actually just make the entire island made out of baseball fields. Man, I wish I'd like to go there. Although, mind you, since we lived in the UK, baseball is non-existent in the UK, but it was actually quite popular for not only in Japan, but also in North America as well, or Americans anyway. So because of this though, yeah, that's the reason why that this game never saw light of day on the UK's release, because of the poor sales of the previous game. So because of this though, yeah, we'll get into more details on that topic later, because there's another cutscene. So yeah, Bowser's not the only one who's gonna challenge us, but also with Bowser Jr. as well. So yeah, in order able to actually get to this point, well, basically we need to recruit any other characters to build up our massive team. Because of that though, without it, then obviously we're just gonna able to stuck with like roughly 2 characters or somewhat. So because of this though, originally I was gonna able to try to read the dialogue, but honestly guys, they are pretty self-explanatory for the sake of convenience. So anyways though, and as a result of that kind of stuff though, is about the fact that, well, relatively speaking, as far as this is concerned, that I always assume about the fact that whenever I managed able to saw this gameplay footage back in the day, that I was very excited. Specifically, whenever first time I see this gameplay footage in action was the Japanese version, because the Japanese version came out first, and I can assure you the American version came out in August in 2008. And potentially speaking though, Mario, is about the fact that for Americans out there, they've somehow managed able to get the Nintendo Selects lineup for the Nintendo Wii selections of games during the forms of it, I would say in a 2010s era or something, and eventually that this game also saw the light of day on the Wii U eShop downloadable version as well, but only in America and Japan only. Because of that though, like I said before, this game never saw the light of day in the UK release because, as I said this before, poor sales of the previous game. So either way, so as you can see, we can actually have a choice between 5 different stadiums to go to, but of course we'll go ahead and get onto the forms of Mario Stadium first, because obviously Luigi did somehow manage to able to get inside Mario Stadium environment itself, which is obviously as a typical tropical beach setting, which as a result though, it feels kind of like, you know, a tropical setting. So because of this though, yeah, and I believe you must able to bump into your first recruit player right from the get-go as soon as you're able to entering Mario Stadium for the first time, and that's of course myself, in this case Luigi. So because of this though, yeah, because if you couldn't tell already, we're going to be playing a game with Wii Remote and Nunchuck combo, because obviously with D-pad movements feels a little bit unnatural, but unlike something related to Metroid Prime, or no, Metroid Other M, I should say. Basically though, it's about the fact that you have to use the Wiimote on its own, which feels very unnatural when if you try to move around in a 3D space. So because of this though, yeah, that'll be discussion at a later time, mainly specifically next year roughly. So Yeah, because I can assure you, because recently that, to be honest, she recently finished up with Metroid Fusion, so because of this though, yeah, so it looks like we've now actually have myself, in this case Luigi, now joined into our teammates, so... Yeah, so basically in order able to move around in certain parts of the actual baseball kingdom, that we need to use the control stick in order able to move around specific captains, as far as you can definitely tell. At the moment right now, we can only play as Mario at the for the meantime anyway. Although eventually, when if you go to the other baseball fields or anything else like that, basically we will able to recruit other captains as well. As you can tell from that particular question mark icons, when if you stand completely still and all that stuff. And also there are a few rare occasions that where basically if you see those question mark icons or exclamation mark icons, as you see right there, basically you can only interact with certain things or what have you. Like for instance, Mario can able to interact with the forms of those bushes right there. And most of the time you are able to actually get yourselves, let's just say coins for instance, act out as currency, and basically that allows you able to, I can assure you it allows us to buy something in the shops, which we're probably not going to get into that just yet though, because obviously that in Mario Stadium's case, it's like a tutorial stadium as far as this is concerned. So either way though, and something tells me about the fact that we were able to come across into another character, which we need to build up for our team, and that's of course those Nukis right there. Yep, based off from the likes of Super Mario Sunshine, because something tells me about the forms of the Mario Stadium environment as far as this is concerned. It almost inspires by the Super Mario Sunshine vibes to it, because of the forms of sandy beaches and all that stuff, and something tells me about the fact that when it comes to the forms of one of those characters we can able to recruit, well, we'll explain more details about that in a moment, because since that we've already interacted with the forms of Blue Nuki right there, basically though is about the fact that we need to force ourselves to able to do a scout mission. So because of this though, so in this first mission right here, basically we need to pull off a different swings. So because of that though, think of like bunt or charge swing or normal swing and you name the rest. So because of this though, well mind you Mario, it's been a very long time since we've last played this game, since in 2017, whenever we got the exactly the same time as we got ourselves our American Wii. Or should we say, our third Nintendo Wii console, because obviously about the fact that, unfortunately though, Nintendo Wii is basically region locked, similar to the forms of the Wii U, which, unlike the Nintendo Switch, is region free. So as a result, speaking of the Nintendo Switch, where's the Mario Baseball game on the Switch, guys? Because obviously that was the only sport we've got left in terms of certain familiar Mario sports games based off from the GameCube era. I mean, that would be nice, but either way though, that'll be a discussion at a later time. So either way though, so yeah, basically though, this is basically it's like a tutorial segment here and there, just to get used to with the controls and stuff like that. Now, if you ever played the forms of Wii Sports Baseball before, you know exactly how this plays out to be, except the noticeable difference is this time, basically though is about the fact that you can able to do all kinds of swings here and there, like bunt, and charge swing, normal swing, and even especially noticeable with the star swing as well. And in order to able to pull off a special star move is that you have to press the A and B together, and at the same time shake the Wii remote in the process, and that way you should pull off a devastating special move. So, well mind you about the fact that it's been ages since we've last played this game, as we said this before. So, but either way though, that pretty much takes care of the first mission in the game. So as a result though, there are a couple of times about the fact that we need able to revisit to certain portions of certain stadiums every once in a while, which you'll see why in just a moment. That basically, as you can see, that as soon as we get to the actual like the entire team roster, as you can see, they had a grand total of like 71 of those team recruits characters, as you can see, which some people seem to say that this is by far is one of the best Mario sports game ever made, which as a result, I honestly agree with that, especially that I'm very glad that I'm actually able to get the game physically, because otherwise, I was pretty jealous back then, because especially noticeable about the fact that, well, I was so desperately want to get the game back in during the forms of in 2010 or something like that. But as it turns out about the fact that we have no luck for our cash back in the day. So, but either way, So anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next mission, which basically this allows you to able to do some teaching for pitching. So because of that though, I believe something tells me we need to throw a charge pitch. So because of this though, yeah, because I think something tells me about the fact that you need to do a timing requirement. So in some cases though, we got ourselves green Nuki right there, which is basically, it's like a green version of Nuki right there. So, but either way though, that's as far as saying goes, that's what I can really think about it. So yeah, for the most part though, it's about the fact that, well, I'm just, you know, very glad that we've managed able to go back into this game again. And especially noticeable, it's been about, I would say a couple of months ago since we actually last did a Mario Sports Let's Play, which appears to be Mario Slam Basketball on the Nintendo DS. Yeah, because as a result of that kind of stuff though, despite the amount of processes of this particular uploading schedule on Mario Slam Basketball feels a bit convoluted at points, but hopefully though in Mario Super Sluggers will be pretty much self-explanatory, and similar to the forms of how it does in Mario Slam Basketball, it will be once again going to be uploaded on weekends department, because something tells me that the entire challenge mode or story mode, as far as what I meant to say, that it doesn't go completely lengthy. So because of that though, however, there are a couple of times though that we will come across into some lengthy moments here and there, specifically though when it comes to solving some puzzles, and especially noticeable for certain progression. And even on top of all that stuff though, there might be some luck factor to it though, which something tells me it might be something to do with the timing aspect or something in regards to that. So but either way though, and in order to able to actually activate this little crosshair, or to be more specifically this cross path, basically though you need able to recruit not only blue Nuki, but also with the green Nuki as well. That way you could able to get yourselves the red Nuki right after that. So but either way, so yeah, there are a couple of times as well that we've come across into the forms of Bowser's minions, like for instance Kamek right there, because obviously he's blocking us, to able to actually activate one of those switches that we can able to utilize with in order to able to progress. Or, potentially speaking, just trying to save the baby counterpart of Luigi. So because of this though, and obviously in this mission right here, we need to use different pitches, ranging from, let's just say, normal pitching, or, let's just say, pitch up, or something like that, or potentially speaking with star pitch, potentially. So, but either way though, it does take a bit of some time to get used to with the controls on this sometimes, but either way. And there's also some other control methods you can able to utilize with this game. As I mentioned this before, we're using the Wiimote to Nunchuck combo for the majority of this playthrough, and on top of that, there's also the Wiimote, let's just say, vertical precision, and also there's the horizontal precision for your Wii Remote, specifically Wiimote sideways, which, whenever I looked upon the instruction booklet for it, I did not seriously expect that there was actually the horizontal position of this control scheme in mind. So because of that though, that almost caught me off guard at points, especially because we pretty much used to with the Wiimote on its own for Wii Sports Baseball, or potentially speaking though Mario with Mario, the Wiimote and Nunchuck combo for this game. So because of that, yeah, similar to the forms of how it does it on, not only from the likes of Mario Strikers Charge Football, but also with the forms of Mario Power Tennis on the Wii, I can assure you for this point. And same applies with the forms of Mario Sports Mix in one of those sports in particular, like let's just say hockey for example, basically does about the fact that we're more accustomed to the Wiimote and Nunchuck combo. So either way, so I'm guessing blue and red, and I think also red as well, and then blue and... okay, there we go. And finally red. So because of that though, if you pay attention to the fonts and the instructions on the actual sand bit, basically though, you know exactly how to solve this. So but either way though, that's what pretty much leads us to the way to meet up with baby Luigi. So because of this though, yeah, we're pretty much gonna have to able to recruit him no matter what. So, but yeah, that's as far as I can say about the fonts of Mario Super Sluggers, basically. In fact, leave it on the comments down below for the question of the day. Oh jeez, something really is going on at this point. And something tells me Bowser Jr. shows up. So either way, though, we need to challenge him no matter what. So, but we'll save him until for maybe a bit later, because I think something tells me there's that other island we can able to hop into. But either way though, anyway, as I was saying before, let me know in the comments down below for the question of the day. Have you guys who've managed able to experience Mario Super Sluggers in your spare own time? Or even do you remember this game? Because I think I surely remembered back in 2008, despite I only looked upon the Japanese version, despite the fact that we never get the game in the UK, because as we said before, it was potentially not releasing during the phones in the UK because of the phones the previous game didn't sell well in the UK, so... which I think we've already pointed that out. So either way though, oh geez, we come across into dry bones that is blocking our way to that treasure chest. I think something tells me that treasure chest will come for later. So in some cases though, we can only select Nuki until you realize that she can able to pull off a specific technique, which appears to be a ball dash. Which basically it means is that if you catch the baseball itself, basically you have the ability to run fast, and that way you can able to get certain hitters getting out or anything else like that. So that'll be a strong resemblance about the fact that, well, it's been a very long while since we actually you know, experienced this after all. So yeah, I know that. Especially noticeable about the fact that since after all this is now summer of course, then obviously we should able to experience the game even funner. Especially concerning about the fact that every time when I think about summer, I always remembered about the forms of playing baseball or cricket to be more specific. So as you can see about the fact that the reason why we're not doing that great is because once again our nunchuck has always been almost shorting out. So because of this though, yeah, we seriously have some stupid luck with the forms of the nunchuck these days. I get it because of its age, but it's just a way of how the fact that every time when it's aged, basically though, something else will go wrong. So either way though, but for the most part though, I'm pretty sure we got this, so... oh, that was the definition of a close call. But, unfortunately though, there's nothing we can do with that treasure chest, I'm afraid, Mario, because we need that certain character in order able to open up the chest. I wonder who likes treasures, I wonder. Probably the greedy man himself, Wario, I'm guessing? Straight to the point? Yes, because obviously if you go here as Mario, basically though, Lakitu will say something about the fact that it looks like, yep, he mentions Wario as the actual name, so either way. However though, Luigi, I don't think we can probably come towards the forms of Wario for quite some time, because obviously we need to go for those stadiums in a chronological order. So because of that though, Mario Stadium is obviously going to go first, and then eventually after this, maybe we can probably able to pay a visit to the princess herself, in this case, Princess Peach. So, but either way though, yeah, let's go ahead and face off against with Bowser Jr. in another one of those missions. And this time we need to make a comeback for the sake of the forms of we're down by 1 point, and now we need to make a massive comeback by, let's just say we get ourselves a good hit, and we can probably potentially try to score about 2 points roughly. So either way though, yeah, let's get this thing to it. So either way though, yeah, we know exactly what to do, Lakitu, so you don't have to tell us again, so... oh, that's a nice hit. And in fact, no matter what though, we can just simply press the A button like twice, so just in case we'll let one of those runners get back into the actual, the beginning portion of the base itself. That way we get 2 points instantly, so... but there's actually technically a method you can able to make the thing a lot faster is by shaking the Wii remote. Gee, that might be seems a little bit more of a motion mashing basically. So because of that though, yeah, for the most part we did this, you know, no problem. Especially because, well, obviously since I got myself a good old hit, then it should allows us to able to continue proceedings for this point. So... and I can assure to you, before we leave, in terms of the forms of Mario Stadium, there's actually technically one more left, or one thing left as far as what I meant to say, because I think something tells me we can also unlock another character, well, after talking to Baby Mario and stuff like that, which we did somehow rescue, of course. So, relatively speaking though about the fact that for those of you who haven't played Mario Superstar Baseball on the GameCube before, then every once in a while you come across into certain familiar playable characters from the previous game. However though, that doesn't stop there, because we will come across into new playable characters that's actually introduced in this game. So, but either way though, some of these new playable characters might be familiar to you if you ever played the past Mario games since in the 2000s or somewhat, and we'll save that conversation for later. So, but either way, since we got ourselves the first item right here, which appears to be that particular key, that way we can able to open this thing up, and potentially speaking, we have to use the motion mash or the motion controls briefly, so just in case we'll open up the actual gate, and that, or the door, as far as what I meant to say, and because of that though, we can able to free a Pianta from Super Mario Sunshine, so yeah, that seems kind of familiar. And potentially speaking, what's cool about this is though, is that you can able to actually play as them during the course of the actual baseball as a game itself. So but either way though, that's actually super dope and everything. Which there's the reason why about the fact I feel like the Mario baseball games are pretty much by far my underrated Mario sports games I've ever played. Especially because it's a shame there's only 2 of them. Well, there's also technically the 3rd one, which appears to be on the Nintendo 3DS as part of the actual sports compilation game called Mario Sports Superstars, but I'm afraid to tell you, I don't think I can probably mention about that during today, but maybe tomorrow we will. So, but either way though, and from here we can able to actually access the shop, which that allows you to able to buy all sorts of items here and there, to make the actual baseball matches a lot more manageable, especially because, well, we'll explain more details about that until tomorrow. So speaking of which, I'm afraid to tell you we got the ending stuff at this point right here, so join us tomorrow for more of Let's Play of Mario Super Sluggers. Is that we're also able to pay a visit to Princess Peach, as I said it as before, into Peach Ice Garden, as far as I can usually remember, especially because, yeah, it did show the icon right there, so that'll be pretty interesting, don't you think? Yeah, exactly, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. Later, fellas.